And welcome back to my vlog. This is another from Geronimo from part 3 about the white man, and it's chapter 14, Greatest of Wrongs. Perhaps the greatest wrong ever done to the Indians was the treatment received by our tribe from the United States troops about 1863. The chief of our tribe, Mangus, Colorado, went to make a treaty of peace for our people with the white settlement at Apache Tejo, New Mexico. It had been reported to us that the white men in this settlement were more friendly and more reliable than those in Arizona, that they would live up to their treaties and would not wrong the Indians. Mangus, Colorado, with 3 other warriors, went to Apache Tejo and held a council with these citizens and soldiers. They told him that if he would come with his tribe and live near them, they would issue to him, from the government, blankets, flour, provisions, beef, and all manner of supplies. Our chief promised to return to Apache Tejo within 2 weeks. When he came back to our settlement, he assembled the whole tribe in council. I did not believe that the people at Apache Tejo would do as they said, and therefore I opposed the plan, but it was decided that with part of the tribe, Mangus, Colorado, should return to Apache Tejo and receive an issue of rations and supplies. If they were as represented, and if these white men would keep the treaty faithfully, the remainder of the tribe would join him and we would make our permanent home at Apache Tejo. I was to remain in charge of that portion of the tribe which stayed in Arizona. We gave almost all of our arms and ammunition to the party going to Apache Tejo so that in case there should be treachery, they would be prepared for any surprise. Mangus, Colorado, and about half of our people went to New Mexico, happy that now they had found white men who would be kind to them and with whom they could live in peace and plenty. No word ever came to us from them. From other sources, however, we heard that they had been treacherously, footnote 27, captured and slain. In this dilemma, we did not know just exactly what to do, but fearing that the troops who had captured them would attack us, we retreated into the mountains near Apache Pass. During the weeks that followed the departure of our people, we had been in suspense and, failing to provide more supplies, had exhausted all of our store of provisions. This was another reason for moving camp. On this retreat, while passing through the mountains, we discovered 4 men with a herd of cattle. 2 of the men were in front in a buggy and 2 were behind on horseback. We killed all 4, but did not scalp them. They were not warriors. We drove the cattle back into the mountains, made a camp, and began to kill the cattle and pack the meat. Before we had finished this work, we were surprised and attacked by United States troops, who killed in all 7 Indians, 1 warrior, 3 women, and 3 children. The government troops were mounted, and so were we, but we were poorly armed, having given most of our weapons to the division of our tribe that had gone to Apache Tejo, so we fought mainly with spears, bows, and arrows. At first I had a spear, a bow, and a few arrows, but in a short time my spear and all my arrows were gone. Once I was surrounded, but by dodging from side to side of my horse as he ran, I escaped. It was necessary during this fight for many of the warriors to leave their horses and escape on foot. But my horse was trained to come at call, and as soon as I reached a safe place, if not too closely pursued, I would call him to me. Footnote 28. During this fight, we scattered in all directions and 2 days later reassembled at our appointed place of rendezvous about 50 miles from the scene of this battle. About 10 days later, the same United States troops attacked our new camp at sunrise. The fight lasted all day, but our arrows and spears were all gone before 10 o'clock, and for the remainder of the day we had only rocks and clubs with which to fight. We could do little damage with these weapons, and at night we moved our camp about 4 miles back into the mountains, where it would be hard for the cavalry to follow us. The next day our scouts, who had been left behind to observe the movements of the soldiers, returned, saying that the troops had gone back toward San Carlos Reservation. A few days after this, we were again attacked by another company of United States troops. Just before this fight, we had been joined by a band of Choconan Indians under Cochise, who took command of both divisions. We were repulsed and decided to disband. After we had disbanded, our tribe, the Bedonkohe Apaches, reassembled near their old camp, vainly waiting for the return of Mangus, Colorado, and our kinsmen. No tidings came, save that they had all been treacherously slain, footnote 29. Then a council was held, and it was believed that Mangus, Colorado was dead. I was elected tribal chief. For a long time, we had no trouble with anyone. It was more than a year after I had been made tribal chief that United States troops surprised and attacked our camp. They killed 7 children, 5 women, and 4 warriors, captured all our supplies, blankets, horses, and clothing, and destroyed our teepees. We had nothing left. Winter was beginning, and it was the coldest winter I ever knew. After the soldiers withdrew, I took 3 warriors and trailed them. Their trail led back toward San Carlos. That's the end of chapter 14. And here are the footnotes. 27. General Miles telegraphed from Whipple Barracks, Arizona, September 24, 1886, relative to the surrender of the Apaches. Among other things, he said, Mangus, Colorado, had years ago been foully murdered after he had surrendered. Footnote 28. Geronimo often calls his horses to him in Fort Sill Reservation. He gives only one shrill note, and they run to him at full speed. Footnote 29. Regarding the killing of Mangus, Colorado, L.C. Hughes of the Tucson, Arizona Star writes as follows, quote, It was early in the year 63 when General West and his troops were camped near Membrus that he sent Jack Swilling, a scout, to bring in Mangus, who had been on the warpath ever since the time of the incident with Cochise at Bowie. The old chief was always for peace and gladly accepted the proffer. When he appeared at the camp, General West ordered him put into the guardhouse, in which there was only a small opening in the rear and but one small window. As the old chief entered, he said, quote, This is my end. I shall never again hunt over the mountains and through the valleys of my people. End quote. He felt that he was to be assassinated. The guards were given orders to shoot him if he attempted to escape. He lay down and tried to sleep, but during the night someone threw a large stone which struck him in the breast. He sprang up, and in his delirium the guards thought he was attempting escape, and several of them shot him. This was the end of Mangus. His head was severed from his body by a surgeon, and the brain taken out and weighed. The head measured larger than that of Daniel Webster, and the brain was of corresponding weight. The skull was sent to Washington and is now on exhibition at the Smithsonian Institution. End of quote. End of chapter 14 and its footnotes. Make it a great day, and bye for now.